Hello everyone, welcome back. We are finally live again. This is day 41 of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge, and today we're going to be designing a luxury web app complete landing page, and this is one is going to be completely incredible simply because of a lot of the concepts that we're going to be using today. The thing with luxury UIs is that you usually need serif fonts or fonts that already look like they're a certain level of lavish to get started, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing today, which is so awesome. So I hope you're ready for this one because this is going to be incredible. Welcome to day 41 of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge. I'm Veera, and let's just get started. Alright, so just to give you a heads up on what we're going to be designing today. This is the complete website that we're going to be designing today. It is a complete landing page. Of course, a lot of the elements that we're using today are advanced, are elements that we haven't covered yet. The most proudest of which I am is the serif font, because this is something you don't usually see. This isn't Playfair display for font geeks watching. A lot of the things that we're using today are only seen in sites that are above a certain cut fold, and that is what we're talking about today. This is the complete landing page that we're designing today. Again, a lot of really cool elements that you would see in a real world project. There is the complete gallery that you can obviously go through. Your complete onboarding happens here, which is having new users, introducing them, getting their details, getting them started, and obviously you're giving your chief products that you are featuring right now, which is your most favorite image, your description, as well as your button and call to action and everything else. Again, this is one of the prettiest UIs I've ever made. Let's just get started. Say hi in the chat, say hello, let me know where you're from, and let's just get started, you guys. I'm so happy we're getting to this today. This is completely amazing. We are at day 41 of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge. Let's get started. Obviously, we're going to be using Figma for this one. So if you do not have Figma installed, what are you doing? Go to Google, go to Firefox, go to wherever it is you want to go to. Search for figma.com/downloads. Don't just go to figma.com, just go to figma.com/downloads. Look at me, I've already typed out down, lads. Amazing, incredible. Down. How do you type downloads? I forgot the spelling. This is top quality of me. Anyways, this is Figma downloads, and you can download your desktop app for Windows, macOS, wherever you're using this from. And once you do have that, you're going to go to your home screen, and it looks sort of like this. Of course, you can now get started with the new design file. You can start it with the click of a button. And now we're going to get started with our complete UI. So the very first thing we're going to do is, obviously, we're going to create a new frame. Very simple stuff, and I would definitely recommend getting one of these frames from the right side, which Figma already gives you. Reason being, when you use a desktop or a mobile for that matter, which is from this right side toolbar, then you have the availability of using your complete laptop onion screen. If you don't use it, this certainly won't be visible. It'll just be in rectangle, which becomes difficult when you're starting to advertise it and show it off to different people once you're done designing. So the very first thing you obviously need to do is create a new MacBook Air. So let's just click on it and we can get started. Of course, now the next thing we need to do is start with our navigation bar. So the very first thing we're going to do is create a special frame for navigation bar. Let's just create a simple rectangle. Very simple stuff. It doesn't need to be visible, so the good thing is you don't need to have a color here. You just need to keep it the same as the background, and things are going to be fine from that point on. Let's add a fill, and this is just very simple, the color white. The reason we're using a very simple fill here is because you want to be able to see what's going on in the front, in the back. And now we're going to start with our navigation options. So you have a couple of options which you can use: home, destination, team, and about us, luxury travels, and contact us. These are the links that are obviously in the navigation bar, and then you also have your logo. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to get all of these right there. And of course, the fonts that we're using today are super duper special because we've never ever used them before. I feel like we have used the sans serif, which is Veera sans, but we've never ever used Gluck, which is the serif font, and it's definitely on the exquisite side of the spectrum. It's definitely something you don't use every day, which is what makes this UI completely special. Let's just get started with the navigation bar. So we have 3 links on this side, 3 links on this side. Of course, you want to get started with your sans serif. So the very first thing you're going to do is just type out really quickly home. And of course, you have to make sure the font that you're using is the right one. Veera offers you a couple of options: Veera Code, Veera Mono, but Veera Sans is the one we're using. Interesting fact, I believe it is Veera Code, which is the most popular VS Code, or for most code editors, font option. And this is super duper special because it gives you specific serifs and specific mono kernings that you wouldn't usually have with most code interfaces. So if you are a programmer, Veera is a great option to look into. Just go to VS Code settings or whatever code editor you use. The italics for this are super duper awesome. Again, we're going to change a couple of these, copy and paste this once again. So just select your home and copy and paste it a bunch of times. The next ones are obviously destination and team. Sizing and everything can be sorted out as you go through this. Welcome everyone. We're designing a completely awesome landing page today, which has a lot of luxury elements to it. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're from. I'm so happy you're here to day 41 of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge. Now we have all of these links ready. We're going to select them. Make sure to press shift when you're selecting multiple things. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. Control G groups everything together, and obviously you're going to add an auto layout. It just makes sure everything auto layout. The only purpose of auto layout is making sure everything is sort of spaced evenly. You don't have a lot of spacing issues at the top and bottom. And now you're just going to place it on one side, and obviously we want an exact replica of what's going on here on the other side as well. So you're just going to copy it and paste it over here and change a couple of things. So that's just very, very simple stuff. Of course, you're going to zoom out and copy and paste this once again. Now we have a second frame with the exact same contents, and we can just place it right here. Very, very simple stuff. About us, luxury travels, and contact us. These are the three things we sort of need to have over here. So we're just going to type them out. About us, luxury travels, and contact us. Let's just type these out. And obviously contact us. Again, this is the simplest thing you can do when you're creating a new UI. Just very, very simple stuff. And with that, we have two of the top three things ready with us. We can obviously add an auto layout, and that's just going to make sure everything is very, very evenly aligned. The top and bottom spacing is obviously perfect. You can click this button to automatically make sure everything is aligned horizontally in its centers, or Alt+H is the shortcut if you're wondering. And also you want to make sure you have aligned vertical centers as well. And with that, we have the left and right alignments links ready with us. The next thing we're obviously designing is the logo, which is obviously in our super special font of the day, Glook. Let's just type this out. Exquisite Travels. And we're going to change this to say Glook. We've never ever used this font before, and it's a new addition to Figma as well. Figma in its recent couple of months has added a bunch of fonts which are super duper awesome to use, and it's so fun as a designer as well. Again, we have the two link groups ready with us, and now we're finally getting into our logo. So we're just going to get this right here. You can select all of the text, obviously resize it. Sizing is where a lot of balance comes into any design. And now we're obviously getting our icons as well. So we're going to go to Iconify. If you don't yet have Iconify, hold on, I completely forgot. If you don't yet have Iconify, just go right here, go to plugins and widgets and search for Iconify, and now you have Iconify. And obviously you can search for any icon. Let's just search for a ship. We can even search for the sun. That's what we did last time, but you know what? This works well. And we're going to import this as a frame. Very, very simple stuff. We're going to place this right here and obviously get the both of these in one singular group. And now, surprise, surprise, we have a complete logo ready with us along with the title. And I feel like this is just the simplest thing you can do if you're looking for the simplest title, description, logo, navigation bar basically for your very first UI design. And this is just on the advanced side of things, which is even more awesome. With that, check it out. It looks super duper simple, super duper fun, and we have now completed our complete navigation bar. How awesome is that? Now we're designing our very, very first image. This is the hero image. A lot rides on it for the brand especially, and so this is why you sort of have to nail it. it's an unsaid requirement as a designer. Let's get a simple rectangle, just drag it out, place it right here, make sure everything is aligned in the center every single time, because if you don't, obviously all hell breaks loose. We're going to make sure there is a little bit of a border radius over here. You can change this number right here to 25 or whatever it is you want to change it to. And the images I use are from a very special platform that I've recently learned of. It's called Lumi, and it's a new plugin by Pablo Stanley, gets all of its images from AI, and it's a whole bunch of stock images that aren't as heavily used as the stuff you'd find on Unsplash and Pexels, which is why it's my new favorite. I'm going to search for a ship because I feel like that's the current overarching theme here, and you can get any image you want. Let's just get this one because it has this weird grand approach to it, and let's just wait for it to load up. Check it out, we finally have an image, although it does look a little bit weird. So if this is happening to you, let's just go back right here, search for Lumi if you don't yet have Lumi. You know what, you're going to go right here and reframe it to be very, very wide. And obviously we're going to now add this and check it out. This is the true magic of Lumi. This is where Lumi shines very, very brightly. Check it out. And now they've reframed the image to be according to the layout that we're using. This is why I love this so much. Check it out. We have made considerable progress. We've completed the navigation bar, we've completed our first image, and the next section we're building out is obviously our description. The font that we're using is once again Gluck, but before I get into it, let's just expand this section a little bit more. If you're new here, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to say hi in the chat, because why the hell not? All of these images that I use here are available in the Discord group, link in the description. Let's just type out our description, which is explore the world's most luxurious destinations tailored just for you. And now I'm going to have a really hard time typing and chatting together. Explore the worlds. I feel like this is the place where the world finally sees how truly horrible I am at typing while thinking, while speaking. Destinations tailored just for you. This is the moment I start feeling like a child again. How amazing. We're going to change the font size, bring it up to about 64, and obviously you can go ahead and change, have a different number. Look at me, already misspelling stuff. It's like we're back in school again. Amazing. Of course, we want to bring this size down right now because this automatically, you will automatically have a feeling of where things are going. The basic concept here is you want to have half and half, which means half the amount of space needs to be taken by the text and half needs to be taken by the description. And I feel like there is a little bit of spacing here between these lines, and you can obviously add that spacing using this section. So you're going to just select this and drag it down, and that's going to give you a lot of spacing. If it still doesn't look right for you, you can just adjust this manually as well. And now check it out. Now we have got for ourselves this description as well. I feel like there was a lot of spacing over here, so padding on both the sides is of course a lot more, and we're going to adjust for it. Oops. Now we're going to just get this, align this right here. So one of the things you might want to notice here is these navigation links are obviously overflowing the content links, which is why you're going to make sure the content stays a little bit more inside as compared to the navigation links, if that makes any sense. All right, the next thing we're obviously doing is we're going to get our description and our call to action buttons. So we're just going to type this out. The font that we're using for the description is, surprise surprise, once again, Veera Sans. Again, I'm just going to type out discover, and then I'm just going to copy the text, because if I start typing it out, I am 100% sure everyone's just going to get bored at this point. I'm just going to paste it and match the exact style. You can pause the video right here and sort of type it out if you want to. And the font that we're using is obviously Veera Sans. So we're just going to change, oops, not Ferta, Veera Sans. And obviously we're going to reduce the font size to 20. You know what, we can get it up to 24, and hopefully that should look good. We're going to align this on the right side and obviously get it right here. And obviously we can also now align it to the left. We were only aligning it to the right so that we could make sure the spacing was exactly equal. The line height can also be adjusted. Font weight needs to be medium, and font color is going to be gray. You know what, let's just get this font weight back to a regular. In fact, regular looks fine. Nope, medium it is. Let's just make this any shade of gray that suits your boat. So I feel like at this point any shade will do. We just want to make sure everything is very, very equal and regular. Check it out, we finally have a very, very nice visual of the complete text that we're doing. Let's just make sure everything is very, very aligned. We might want to increase the space right here, and I feel like this is where the complexities of spacing start to get you, but a little bit of practice and you'll be fine. And the next thing we're obviously doing is this explore now button. Let's just get this a little bit lighter, make it a little bit more dark, and that should be enough. And now we're creating our main call to action button. So let's just copy and paste it once again. Now we have a text box, and we're going to change this text to say explore now. So we're going to change this to say explore now. We're going to make sure this is auto width, and so this has the exact same amount of width as our text up top. We're going to right click and frame it, and obviously we're going to start adding padding on the left and right sides. Of course, we're going to add a fill. Make sure the fill is exactly very, very black. Make sure the text color is very, very white, and obviously add a border radius because rounded things are genuinely cuter to look at as opposed to the things that aren't very rounded. Let's obviously make sure this spacing is a little bit smaller because I feel like 26 is still overdoing it. 24 will do. And we're going to get this button right here. Now with that done, check it out, you guys. We've completed our you know what, let's just make this a little bit thinner. Check this out. We've completed the complete navigation as well as the hero section for this really, really modern, really, really luxurious landing page UI. Let's just go. The next thing we're doing obviously is creating this next section, which is crafting unforgettable experiences. Now this section obviously has an image overlay in the background. It also has a really light shade of black, sort of semi-opaque, and then we also have this really, really pretty looking text, and this introduces a new section now. So I feel like this is the primary section divider, and we have to be really, really careful not to mess anything up. Let's just go. The next thing we're doing is obviously increasing the height of our frame, because if we don't, we're going to get in a sea of trouble. Obviously, we're going to go back and create a new frame. This frame is going to be taking up the entire width of our UI. Just place this right here, dead center, and we're going to start adding an image. Let's just add a color here just so we are sure of what we're doing. And we're going to reduce the opacity of this black down to 20. And now we're going to get another image. This image is obviously going to be from Lumi. We're going to search for globe because old-timey globe is the vibe we're sort of going with. And I'm here to embrace that. I'm all for it. Let's try to get similar to the one we were using. And I feel like any of these would work just fine, especially because this is only an image. Let's just scroll up to the top and obviously get for ourselves a new image. I feel like we're going to have to reframe this one as well, and obviously reframe, make sure we've widened everything, and this is going to give us a much better image. And now we obviously need to make sure the black is in front of the image, because if the black is in front of the image, this is the only situation in which it is actually blackening the image. If it is behind the image in terms of layers, then it makes absolutely no difference overall. So check out this orange and you will be able to see what I'm talking about. You're going to select this, drag it over here, and this is sort of going to make everything a little bit more dim. And with that, we have the section divider ready. We need to add a little bit of text, but other than that, we're pretty much done. Crafting unforgettable experiences. Let's just type it out. We're obviously going to be using Glook, crafting unforgettable experiences. We're going to change the font to say Glook. Increase the font size to about 64, and obviously just center align everything. Make sure the line height is set to auto in the beginning, and center align everything. You can increase the spacing it takes and obviously add a couple of effects. I feel like the main important effect that we're adding here is the drop shadow, and it sort of helps us see everything and where it's going. One of the primary issues with this image is it's just giving us this really weird watermark, which is sort of undermining the text that we're using, and I want to get rid of that immediately. Let's try to get a globe image that doesn't have that. You know what, a map will do as well. Let's just get another image that doesn't have such a prominent watermark. This looks good. This looks really, really good. The next thing we're doing is obviously increasing our font size. So we're just going to get this right here. Make sure it's big enough for us to be able to see. And let's just bring the size down. What do you think I should do? I think I should go to 74, because why not? And obviously align it perfectly in the center. And then we're going to get a little bit of the description text. Description text is going to say your dream vacation awaits. And so that is what we're going to do. You can add this drop shadow and it's just going to make things pop, but you can just get rid of it if you want to. So the text is going to say your dream location awaits. And we're going to change the text to say Veera Sans, because that is the font that we're using. The font family is going to be, the font size is going to be 24, because that's just small enough for my taste. We're going to increase the width to say medium. Select the both of these, group them together and align them perfectly in the center. Obviously add a little bit of depth in here with the drop shadow filter. Very, very simple stuff, and just really, really easy to get started with. Obviously the next thing we're doing is the section with all of these different travel packages. So to get that done, we're going to create a new frame, and now we're going to get the title, the description, and also this gallery. So this is a very, very simple section, and you obviously just need to get this title and description, which is very, very similar to this title and description. So the way we're going to do that is, and I have a plan here, hear me out. We're going to copy and paste this, change the color and change the font alignment, and then we're just going to get started with this section. So I feel like you're going to save a lot of labor here if you just copy and paste this right here and sort of change things around. Very, very simple stuff. Let's add a fill, because if you don't add fills in Figma, it just doesn't let you see a lot of the stuff that's going on. And then we're going to get the group that's right here, copy it, very, very simple stuff, paste it down here, and we're going to get this right here and change the colors obviously to black, pure black. Get rid of the drop shadow because we don't need the drop shadow anymore. Change the alignment of everything to left, because obviously left alignment is king here, and make sure everything is very well aligned. Of course, we're just going to align this perfectly right here. Reduce the font size a little bit, because this is still a little bit too large, because we're going to have stuff over here, and so we need to reduce the font size. And so we're just going to get the both of these right here, put them right here in the center, and we're just going to get this group, align it vertically in the center. You can just press this button and it's going to take care of it for you. The next thing we're doing is very, very carefully getting a couple of images in here, and obviously the established mindset is these images have to be smaller than the content that's going on over here. So that needs to be taken care of as well. We're going to first change the text. Don't be an idiot like me. Change the text. Tailored luxury travel. Let's just change this to say tailored luxury travel. Oops, travel. Great. And now we're going to make sure we have a little bit of spacing. So with that, you know what, you can just change this description whenever you want. Let's just get the gallery sorted first. We're going to get this image right here. We're going to make sure we add a border radius, because border radiuses are very, very important for these cute viewable experiences on a visual level. And we're going to get a little bit of images in. So let's just go to Lumi, which you can find from the bottom. Search for Lumi, and we're going to search for C, because blue is sort of the theme that we're going with in this image. Let's get this image right here. Oops. Let's add this image. Very, very simple stuff. And now we have our complete image. Once we have this image ready with us, we can start with the title and description. So let's just border radius it out. We're going with the 25 pixel border radius, which is fine. I want to change a couple of these text boxes. The first one is obviously experience the world like never before. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. Let's just copy it, paste it right here and match the styles. We're going to select this once again, change this to be regular because you know what? Regular, because of course this needs to be lighter, but the gray is going to be this exact same shade of gray which we used right here. So this is going to be reusable and very, very useful for consecutive, constant consistency. Look at me using 3 C's in one sentence. Let's just copy and paste this once again, add it right here, and now we're going to add a title and description. Very, very simple stuff. Let's type this title out and obviously then the smaller description as well. Exclusive packages. Exclusive packages. Let's change this to pure black and reduce the font size to 20. Bring this right here, copy and paste it once again. Oops, get rid of this. And now we're going to make sure to get rid of the group with the title. Make sure to get rid of this title from the group because that is going to mess with you as well. We're going to get this out here and change the description text. So we're just going to copy this and obviously paste it out here. We're going to right click, select it all, copy, and you can just pause the video right here if you want to, just to type this text out, and we're just going to style it out now. So the font size obviously needs to be reduced. We're going to reduce it back to 14, and obviously we're going to make sure there's a little bit of spacing in between each of the lines. So you're just going to drag this out, change the color to gray, the same exact gray that we have been using, and increase the line height. And we're going to make sure we have a couple of lines to adjust this in. And now we're going to group this together as one single group. Just press shift, select everything and group it together. Control G. And now we're going to copy this group and paste it once again. The reason we're pasting it again is because we're basically just creating another version of this exact same group. So we're going to have to change the image, change the title, change the description once again. So you're just going to select your image, go down here, search for Lumi or get Lumi if you already have it as a plugin, and you're going to get any other image you want. You know what, I think this image looks pretty. We're just going to get it right here. And now we're going to start changing the title and description as well. So we're going to copy this text, or you can just type it out if you want to, and we're going to paste it here and match the style. So just nothing fancy at all. And the exact same thing, by the way, has to happen for this as well. So we're just going to get this and match our style. With that, check it out, you guys. We are so far along. We have already created the navigation bar, the hero section, this new section divider, and this gallery. How neat does this look? How sleek does it look? If you like what we're doing here, make sure to click on the like button. Let me know what you think of this in the live chat. This is the great thing about live streaming. The next thing we're doing is our testimonials section, which is amazing. Again, a couple of things to keep in mind here. You're going to make sure the background color for this is a little bit different from the white that we've been using. And the reason is, when things get boring, this is such a constant principle in UI design. When your UI gets boring continuously, you want to make sure the background color changes. So you're just going to make sure this is different from this. And this exactly is the reason why we kept the white for this one section and then we changed it to an image. And then we kept the white for this one section and then we changed it to a different color. Very, very constant principle of UI design. Use one color. When it gets boring, you're going to switch it up in the background. And obviously we're going to create a new frame now. Make sure always to increase the height just so you can see what's going on, and you can add a little bit of spacing here. We're going to create a new frame, and now that things have gotten boring, we're going to switch the background color. We're going to go to the bottom, add a fill, and obviously this is going to be on the blue side of things, so we're going to use a very light shade of baby blue. If it isn't visible, make sure the frame is outside. It doesn't have to be so blue it looks like the sky. You're just going to make it a little bit on the lighter spectrum of things. This looks quite similar to what we're going with. You know what? It doesn't look. Check me out. I'm just explaining things over here and getting the wrong shades. This looks fine. This looks fine. no, really, this does look fine. And now we're going to create a new title and description. So we're going to get our title over here. Very, very simple stuff. Font is going to be the one we've been using for such a long time. Glook, Goock. What our clients say. I think as a UI designer, you have to be really, really careful with this section, because this is such a great section. You can reuse it 1,000 times over. Like, if you get this section right, it doesn't matter if you're making a luxury UI design site, it doesn't matter if you're making a retail site, it doesn't matter what kind of website you're making. This is the most reusable section for today. You can just change the image, change what the feedback is, and you can use this in practically any professional UI design you're using, whether it is for a freelance client, whether it is for your actual job. The most reusable thing in the whole world ever. We're going to change the font to say Glook, obviously Glook. Font size is going to be big, which is going to be what? 96? No, 74, more like it. We're going to get this right here in the center. Make sure the frame height is really, really large, because you want to have a lot of extra spacing. And you might notice here very, very carefully, there is a lot of extra spacing going on. And the simple reason is this extra spacing is called white space. And you always need to have this extra spacing going on, because when you have extra spacing, breathing room, your UIs look much, much prettier. If everything was crammed up in here in one single section, things would look horrible. So you want to have a lot of extra spacing so that your things can sort of move around and have a lot of fun. The next thing we're designing is this review card. This review card has a couple of elements. Let's go over what they are. Number 1, the review card is rounded off. Number 2, it's completely white. Number 3, it has a couple of different things. Who the person is, what their star rating is, what their feedback is. Now, a challenge to everyone watching: if you type out a number between 1 and 5, we're going to feature that as the number of star ratings for this UI. Really, really quickly, type out the number of star ratings we should give this for the very first UI. And while that is happening, I'm going to create a new frame, which is going to be the review of the client. Let's just create a fill, and we're going to add a border radius. Really, really simple stuff. Of course, you can increase the level of visibility that there is. I feel like this is a better color for this one. And we're going to go over here and we're going to change a couple of things. So we're going to get the user, and we're going to get the star rating, and we're going to get the description. Really, really quickly, let me know how many stars you want to add over here. And while that is happening, we're going to create a very, very simple user. So we're going to create an ellipse, very, very simple circle, nothing complicated at all. Let's just change this width to be equal to the height, because that is what a circle is. 135 by 135. Place it right here, zoom it in, just so everything is nice and visible. We're going to go down here and search for Lumi, Lummi. This is running a plugin for us. Let's just search for a person. And now we're going to get the person who is giving you the review. So let's just get any one of these people. It doesn't matter at this point. Let's get this person, and obviously we're going to get a name and what this person does, because that is very relevant to the project that we're making. Let's get a name. Let's just let this name be Sophia Johnson. I'm not entirely sure how this could be Sophia Johnson, but you know what? Let's just let that be. Let's change this font to say Veera Sans, because this is a description for increased readability. So when you're designing sections where you want the user to read a lot of stuff, you want to have sans serif fonts. When you're designing a section where you don't want the user to read too much, just want to have a casual overview, you're going to use a serif font. This is a sans serif font. This is Veera Sans. This is what we're using today. We're going to reduce the font size, bring it down to 24, bring this right here. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. I go here live every single day, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 2:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Font weight is going to be medium, very, very simple stuff. And this is going to be what the person does. Sophia Johnson, CEO, Elite Ventures. Let's just bring this right here. You know what? We can increase the font size as well. Let's change it to 20. And we're going to type out what this person does. CEO, Elite Ventures. Let's change this to be gray, obviously, because now you don't want things to be very, very crowded. You want them to be much smaller, and obviously the description of the person is secondary. So we're going to change this to be regular as well as gray. We're going to get this right here, and now we're going to get our 5-star ratings in. So very, very quickly type out how many stars you want to see for this single review. We can do 1, we can do 5, we can do any number in the middle. Really, really quickly type them out. And while that is happening, I'm going to search for our circles. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go to actions, get Iconify. If you don't yet have Iconify, search for Iconify, and I'm going to search for star This is going to give us a couple of star options. Let's get any one of these star options. Let's just get this right here, import this as a frame, and now you have this very, very simple star. And now the first comment says 4, so we're going to add 4 stars here. Let's just copy and paste this 4 different times. Again, very, very simple stuff. Let's just add it 4 times. You're going to press shift and you're going to select all of these stars at once, because there needs to be a little bit of styling here, but all of it happens when you're selecting all of them at once. So you're just going to add an auto layout now. This is going to make sure the spacing between the stars, above and below the stars, is very, very equal. And you're going to add a border radius as well. Nope, not here. You're going to make sure the spacing between everything is equal. So let's just make sure the spacing between there is 1. We're going to go right here, change this to say group instead of frame. We're going to press Ctrl+Shift+G twice now, and this is going to get rid of the group that we have for each of these stars. And now you're going to press on Ctrl+G. This is going to create one single group for us. If you don't understand anything, let me know in the chat. We can fix it right up for you. We're going to add an auto layout, which is going to make sure the spacing between everything is very, very equal. And obviously we're going to select all of these at once. Make sure to press shift when you're selecting multiple things at once, and you're going to add a border radius. And now we have these really, really pretty rounded stars for you. And obviously now we want to change the color of these stars. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go right here, get the light shade of blue that we were using, and then get a really, really bright shade of the same blue. And the reason this works is because this blue and this blue are in the same family of blues, tie very well together, look very, very pretty, great for production. And now we have this really, really simple group of 4 stars here. So 4 stars is the feedback Sophia Johnson has given us. This is the complete review. So I'm just going to copy the review out. Very, very simple stuff. And we're going to create a new text box. Just place it right here, right click, paste here and match style. If you want to get a copy of all of the text that we're using, go join the Discord group in the description, and you can get a copy of all of the different text data that we're using. Obviously the font size is going to be 14, font family is going to be Veera Sans, and you're going to make sure everything is very, very well adjusted. Let's just make sure everything is perfectly aligned in the center. You know what, let's just left align things. And with that, check it out. Super duper simple, super duper easy. Now we have this complete review testimonial section ready with us. Let's just create a different frame. So just going to copy and paste this once again, and now we have a different review for our clients as well. This is going to be our second review. Really, really quickly type the number of stars you want to see for the star review, this second one, and we're going to take that from the comments. While that is happening, we're going to change this image right here. So we're going to go down here, search for Lumi, and we're going to search for a different person. So let's just get another person right here. Who's another person? Let's just get this one. And while that is loading up, we're going to get the title of the person, which is Michael Smith, founder, Travel Lux. I apologize if I'm not taking into consideration the gender of the models, but what can I say? Let's just change it to Michael Johnson. Oops, I cannot spell at all. Oops, wow. Horrible. And now we have this person with us. And now we're going to change this to say founder Travel Lux. So we're just going to change this to say founder, comma, Travel Lux. And now we're going to type out our reviews. So this review is just going to be very, very simple. We're going to copy it right here, and then we're going to go right here and paste it here and match our style. So again, very, very simple, Veera Sans. And obviously it needs to be a little bit more thin. Let's just get this down to regular. Veera Sans, font size 14, regular. And with that, check it out. We have this really, really simple, very, very reusable testimonial section for a luxury travel landing website ready with us. The next section we're going to build is this one. It is the join us section. Of course, this is going to be email related. So we're going to collect the user's email, get the continue with Google. However it is that we need the user to connect with us, this is the section where that happens. This is a really, really important section, because almost in every professional site that you will make, they will always ask you to have a contact us section, connect with me section. Whichever brand makes a site, they obviously want their users to connect with them. So now this is the most important section. This is where everything is led up to, and this is the section that you're going to have to be super careful with. Again, in the beginning of the section, we talked about if the background gets boring, you're going to change it up. So if the white background over here got boring, we're going to change it up to an image. If the white background over here got boring, we're going to change it up to a different color. And when the plain color background gets boring, you're going to change it to a different image. So let's just get this different image out here. So we're going to create a simple frame. Before we do that, we're going to make sure this is heightened. Obviously, we have enough height to accommodate everything. And then we're going to create a simple frame, very, very simple stuff. And we're going to add a different image. So we're going to go down here, search for Lumi, and we're going to get a different map image. Let's search for a map image, and now we have a couple of these available. Let's just get any one of these map images. This looks good. We're going to get this image right here, and then we're going to darken it a little bit, and then we're going to have everything we're looking for right there. So we're going to select this frame, get it out of our first frame, and now you have this image where you can do a lot of funny stuff. Once this is done, let's just go back. Hold on. Once this is done, now we're going to start adding a complete container. So we're going to go right here and we're going to drag this out completely. Check it out. Very, very simple stuff. This frame is going to be white in color. So we're going to add a fill and we're going to add a border radius just so everything is nice and rounded off. And now we're going to start with the complete join us section. So we're going to just align everything perfectly in the center. Very, very simple stuff. And then we're going to create this simple avatar image. So let's just go right here to the circle, press Shift, and we're going to get a simple 100 pixel by 100 pixel circle with us. When you're dragging these circles out, make sure to press Shift, and then the width and height is going to be exactly the same when you're scaling the image up and down. So this is a 135 pixel by 135 pixel circle, and it's going to have an image of a profile in the background. The way we're going to get the images, we're going to go down to the bottom, search for Lumi, get Lumi right here, and we're going to search for any image. Let's just get this image. Very, very simple stuff. You can get any image you want. You can get your photo if you want. Just very, very simple stuff. And if you're not happy with the positioning of the image, you're going to zoom in, go to the right side, change it to say crop, and now you can place whatever side of image you want to place. You can even scale the image up and down using the corner radiuses, and you can just place this image perfectly in the center. And with that, check it out. I have this complete image of this cat with me, this very, very weird cat. And now we're going to get our title with us. So we're going to get the title in our very, very sans serif fancy luxury font, Glook. We're going to type out join us, and obviously the font is going to be Glook, not Veera Sans. Glook is the font that we're using for titles. It is a new addition to Figma, and it is a great choice for luxury vibe themes of websites, UIs, whatever it is that you're looking for. 36 pixels is the font size. Font size is 36 pixels. We're just going to align this perfectly in the center, shift this guy above by a couple of pixels, shift this above as well. And now we're going to type out get started. Very, very simple stuff. We're going to go right here and type out get started. Like get lost, get started. I can't type. I'm sorry. We're going to change this to say Veera Sans because that is the description font that we're using for today. Font size is going to be reduced. We're going to bring this down to 16. And with that, check it out. We've got a very, very simple looking description section ready with us. This actually looks quite decent, surprising. And now we're going to type out continue with Google. Continue with Google is one of the most important buttons you can make because almost every single online brand that you can see these days is using continue with Google. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go right here, create a very, very simple frame because this is a button. We're going to create a very simple frame that takes up a very, very wide width, add a fill, and obviously change this color to be the gray that we've been using for a really long amount of time. Align it perfectly in the center, add border radius, and we're going to add a stroke as well. Make sure the stroke isn't too dark, so you're going to make sure this is a little bit dark, and you're going to make this even lighter. When it is considerably darker, this is the point where we're going to need a Google logo because almost all continue with Google icons have a Google logo. So you're just going to go down to the bottom, go right here, go to Iconify, search for Google logo. Let's just let this guy load up. We're going to get this right here and import this as a frame. And now we have the Google logo with us. We're going to drag it out, make it a little bit bigger, and then we're going to type out continue with Google. Very, very simple stuff. Let's just go right here and we're going to type out, capital C, continue with Google. Very, very important button if you're looking for any UI design position. Almost every single brand today is using continue with Google, which means you as a designer need to be ready with the continue with Google feature UI as a very simple first UI design component. This is going to be aligned perfectly in the center. And now let's increase the font size as well, because I feel like this is going to be one of those things which needs to be prominent. We're going to select this, align it perfectly in the center. Now we're designing the OR option. So most sites will give you the continue with Google option and also the sign up option with email. So we're going to design that now. You need a separator. So the first thing you need to do is you need to have a separator. The separator is going to be this simple line cut by the OR with a little bit of padding. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to create two different lines, not one. We're going to create one line right here. We're going to end it very, very simply, and then we're going to copy and paste it on the other end as well. So we're just going to place this right here. Make sure everything is perfectly aligned from this. Press the Alt key if you need to. This is 53 pixels on this side, and then this is also 53 pixels approximately on this side. And with that, we have this very, very simple area. And now we're going to zoom in, go to the text box, type out or here, change this to say gray. Let's just get this gray right here, align it perfectly in the center, and with that we have an OR separator. We're going to go right here, select these two and change this to be gray as well, and with that we have the OR separator ready. So we've got the continue with Google button, we've got the OR separator. You can select all of these by pressing shift. Just press shift, select all of these, Control G is going to group them together, shift them above, and now you have your continue with Google button or separator. And now we're going to create login with email sign out option. So we're going to type out your email address and then we're going to type out the whole input section. So let's just search for your email address. We're going to type out your email, very, very capital address. Let's just change this to say font size 16. Let's just get font size 16 over here, and then we're going to select a different frame. So we're going to create an entirely new frame. Let's just place it perfectly in the center, add a fill. This is going to be a very, very light shade of white, just super duper light, and obviously it's going to be as wide as the top button because it needs to be completely equal in size. Height is going to be the exact same as this button's height. So this height is 62, which means this height is also going to be 62. We're going to get this right here, add border radius, just align things perfectly so that they're easy to see, pretty to look at. And this is now going to say your password. Let's just type out your password. Very, very simple stuff. Your password, and we're going to get this right here. Make sure this is very, very gray in color because this isn't a filled out field. This needs to be semi visible, so it needs to be a little bit gray in color. Once you have this ready with you, you're going to create a button which says continue with email, because obviously you need to have a call to action button when you're designing things like these. So you're going to select this text box, press shift, and then select the box here again. And with that, we have this frame with us. We're going to copy and paste this once again, and now we're going to repurpose it to be usable as our button. So we're going to select this title, align it perfectly in the center, and now we're going to change this color to be black. We're going to go to the frame, change the color of the frame to be yellow, and with that, check it out, you guys. We have this very, very simple button ready with us. We're going to type out continue with email, and with that we have this button ready with us. We're going to align it perfectly in the center. Done. And now we have this really, really simple sign up option complete. This is the most useful section you'll ever make. Screenshot this section either or just save this video somewhere. Make sure to like this video so you can find it in the liked section playlist on YouTube, because this section and this section are by far the most reusable sections I've ever made in my UI design career. You'll use this day and day in again, and this is going to be the most useful component you ever design. So that is really, really important to remember. And now you're going to type out by continuing you agree to our terms of service and privacy policy. Very basic legal stuff, needs to be in every single site. Very, very important stuff. So we're going to type out just go right here and you're going to type out by agreeing, and I'm just going to go right here and copy this text out. If you want all of this text, go join the Discord group, link in the description, ask for this text or find it in the assets section. We're going to go down here, zoom in, right click, paste here and match style, and we're going to get rid of the extra text. We're going to make sure the font size is set to 14 because font sizes for these privacy policy headers need to be very, very small, and 14 is the size with which this and this are equal. And we're going to change this color to say gray because we need it to be semi-visible. And now check it out, we have this really simple join us section ready with us. This looks so amazing, you guys, and it is the most reusable section ever. Make sure to save this video just so that you can get back to this section, redesign it in any sort of framework, any sort of UI, and it is going to be an absolute hit. With that said, let's get to the next section, which is luxury redefined. So now this is the newsletter section. This section is again very usable. You can just and again, this follows a very simple pattern. This is our luxury redefined, this is our title section, and then this is our call to action section. And then if you scroll up to the top, scroll up to the stuff that we already done, you will now see that this section and this section have a lot of similarities, in the sense this title and description is on the left side, and now title and description is also here on the left side. The stuff that we need to do is on the right side, stuff that we need to do is in the right side here as well. So the thing we're going to do is we're going to copy this section now and bring this down here and just paste it right here, and with that we're going to be ready with the section that reduces the amount of effort we have to put in. So in a small amount of effort, we're going to have a large amount of result. Let's just go back to our section, to our frame, select this frame, copy it, and then you're going to go down and then you're going to paste it here again. Let's just place this right here. Let's just place this absolutely in the center, and we're going to select our MacBook, make sure it is having a little bit more space. We're going to type this text out, let it say your journey begins here. Very simple stuff. The only difference here is this title now needs to be at the top, so we're going to bring this right here, bring the description down here. Nothing else changes, absolutely nothing else changes. We're going to type the title out, let it say your journey begins here. We're going to go right here and we're going to type out your journey begins here. Wow, I cannot type. This is horrible. I cannot type. Wow. Look at me. Shit. Anyways, if you're happy with the way your text looks but you want it to be capitalized, you're going to go to the right side, go to this button, and you're going to change it to be in title case. And with that, now you have your ready text with you, and this title is now going to say luxury redefined. We're going to change this to say luxury redefined again and again. We're going to select this, change it to title case, and check it out. Now we have the ready section with us, and you're going to change this color to be black because of course you need to draw attention to this little teeny tiny description box right here, and then you're going to get rid of this section altogether. So you're going to go to this group, select it, go press shift, make sure to, and then select this group again, and now you're going to delete the both of these, and with that we have a lot of empty space here. Now this is the empty space where we're going to add the newsletter section. So you're just going to add a title, you're going to add this sort of input box, you're going to add this button, and you're going to add the description. This is the data where you're going to add the newsletter section. This needs to be very inviting because this is where the user is typing in their email. So we're going to type this out very simply. Go right here to this text box. Let's just type out join us. And I'm just going to go right here, copy this text. You can pause the video right here and type these out if you want, but I'm just saving time here. Paste and match style. Very simple stuff. We're going to get this right here, align it perfectly. And now this is the place where we're going to make sure they're aligned in two different lines. So the font size needs to be adjusted. Number one, let's just bring this down to 20 pixels. Add a lot of spacing in here between the lines, and 13.8 looks 138 looks good, and we're going to get this right here. The next thing we're designing is our button and our input box, and both of these now you will start to see the reusability of elements. These two elements and these two elements are very similar, which means we can use these elements and these elements as the exact same. Just change out the text and you can now reuse these elements. So you're going to get the both of these, so you're going to get the both of these, copy and paste them right here, and instead of aligning them at the top and bottom, we're going to align them on the left and right. Very, very simple stuff. You're going to go right here, select this and this, copy and paste it once again, bring this down here, and you're going to make sure both of these are less wide, so you're going to make sure they squish together. Select this button once again, bring it right here, make sure the button is a little bit thinner than our actual input box, because obviously we need to type a lot of stuff here. This is going to say stay updated and this is going to say subscribe. So we're going to make sure this is going to say stay updated, and this is going to say subscribe. Coding Tutorials asks, which font do I use? I'm using Luke and Veera Sans as my 2 fonts on this side. The next section we're designing is, again, one of these sections. Again, this is also very, very reusable. By clicking sign up, you agree to our terms and conditions. By continuing to agree, you agree to our terms of service. This and this are very, very similar. The only difference is the font size. So you're going to copy this, change the font size, change the text, and you're done. How easy is that? We're going to go right here, select this, copy and paste it once again, bring it down here, and again, we're going to place this right here, change this to be black, and obviously we're going to go right here, copy our text, select it, paste here, and match our style. And with that, check it out, you guys, we've completed successfully the newsletter section of this UI. This looks super duper simple, super duper fun, but it is very, very reusable. You will use it 1,000 times over in your career. I know I have. And the next section we're obviously designing is the contact us section. This section is a little bit special because we are going to divide our page now into 50-50. One side is going to take up the image and one side is going to be the form. Very, very simple stuff, but it looks quite advanced, which is why you need to make sure you're paying attention. So we're going to go right here, create a different frame. You're going to drag it out, make sure it's taking up the entirety of your width. Just bring this right here, and with that we have a complete wide page. Make sure it takes up both the sides of the page. And now we're going to create a new frame which takes up half the width. So you're going to go back to this frame, make sure you have added a fill here. Let's add a red fill here just so we're able to see what is going on. This is very important so that we can divide the page visually in half and half. We're going to create a new fill, so we're going to make sure our actual section is visible. The width of this page is going to be 1280 pixels, so we're going to make sure this is set to 1280, and then this is going to take up half the width, which means this is going to be 640 pixels. Very, very simple stuff. And the height obviously has to be same as well. Very, very important to make sure the both of these sections are right, equal and equal. And now we're going to copy this once again and get this on the other side, and now it's taking up the entirety of our width. We're going to make sure to select this section, change the image in the background, go back to the background, go for Lumi, and now you're going to search for any image. Let's search for airplane because that for some reason seems to be this aesthetic as well. And let's just get any one of these images. Let's just get this image because it looks pretty and we want pretty images. And now we're going to go to this section. Let's make sure both of these are inside of our frame, and now this is where we're going to design our form. So we're going to type out contact us and we're here to help. So these are the title and description. Now before you start creating your own new sections, I would like to remind you this and this are exactly the same in this title and description. So we're just going to copy and paste them once again, and we're going to go up to the top, copy and paste this title and description, bring them down here, and we're going to change the form. We're going to change this to say contact us, and we're going to change the description as well. We're going to copy this text and we're going to bring it down. We're going to go back here, we're going to select this, make sure everything is aligned equally. We're going to bring this right here. We're going to bring this right here, and now we're going to select our complete form. So you're going to press shift, press this again. Make sure the spacing between these is equal. And now we're going to create this complete form and this and all of these elements. So this is very, very simple stuff. We're going to design the title and the description here. Very, very simple. This is very, very similar to what we've been doing right here. So we're going to copy this and select this as well. Copy and paste it back here again. So we're going to bring these down, place them right here. And again, this is going to be very, very reusable. Now you'll see how easy it is to just duplicate these elements and keep on reusing them for perpetuity. So now we're going to type out full name and enter your name. So let's just go right here and type out full name. And obviously this is going to say enter your name. And if at any point you realize the font case is not adding up, select your text, go right here, change it to say title case. And now we're just going to duplicate the both of these again and again. So let's just get this, and we're going to group them together by pressing on Shift and then Control G, copy and paste this once again, bring this down here, and now we're going to make sure this says email address. So let's just go right here and type out email address. Let's just change this to say enter your email address. And now we're going to reuse it once again. This is going to be for our messages. Let's just go right here, select this group, and we're going to duplicate this once again, bring this down here, and we're going to type out message. So let's just type out message, enter your message. And this is going to be a special container now because message can be much, much larger than your name and email, which is why we're going to have to expand this box. Let's just go right here, expand this box. And now we're going to change out this button as well. So this button is very, very similar to this button. We're going to get the button that we're using right here, copy and paste it down here. So we're just going to go up to the top, click on this button, copy and paste it once again, bring this down, shift it above, and now we're going to type out this button and change it to say submit. With that, we are completely done with this next section. I know this form and this form look a little bit different. That is because we've not used any fill over here, but we are using a fill over here. Makes no difference. You can go with either, and these are just two different variations you can use. And with that, we are done with the contact us form. This is a very, very reusable form. You're going to end up using it 1,000 times over. You can change it to obviously be capital, small, change out the colors a little bit, dark mode, light mode, whatever mode you're using, you will end up using this form over and over and over again. And with that, we are done with this section as well. The next section we're designing is super duper interesting, and it is the second last section of this UI design build. This is the gallery of our dreams. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to create a simple frame, and then we're going to create this really, really usable gallery which sort of scrolls. So let's just go down here and create a new frame. We're going to go to our MacBook Air. We're going to increase the size. We're going to go over here to the frame, create a new frame, and we're going to change out the title and description. So we are going to find out that this title and description are already used somewhere at the top. We're going to go to the top, click on this title and description, bring it down here, change the color, change the size, but it's going to save us so much effort while reusing these different elements. So we're going to go up to the top, select the both of these, copy and paste them right here, bring them down. Don't worry if this takes a little bit of time, it ultimately saves so much effort. We're going to select this title, change it to say 96 pixels. Let's just change out the text to say gallery of your dreams. Let's just type out this title, and now we're going to change out the color, get rid of the drop shadow. We don't need the drop shadow anymore. We're going to change this text and obviously change this description as well. So we're going to get rid of this, add a fill, bring this down here. You can change the font size if you want to. Let's just get it up to gallery of dreams. Let's just change it up to, oops, I feel like we've done something wrong here. Gallery of dreams. Let's just change up the size to say 96 pixels. And align everything perfectly in the center. We're just going to align this perfectly in the center. And now we're going to change this text to say explore breathtaking destinations and luxurious accommodations. This is going to be our description now. So we're going to go right here, copy out this text. You can pause the video and type it if you want to. We're going to go right here, paste it here and match our style. We're going to place it right here in the center. Make sure to press this button if you need to make sure everything is perfectly aligned in the center. We need to make sure this is very, very thin compared to what we've been using. So the font weight is going to be regular. The font size is going to be gray. So we're just going to change this. Font color is going to be gray. So we're going to change the color to be gray. And now we're going to create our interactive image slider. This slider is very, very important because time and again you have all of these different sites in front of you where you need to have a complete image gallery, which means you have to have all of these different elements where you need to have all of these different images scrolling back and forth. And it's just something that you'll find using in testimonials as well. You'll find it using in all sorts of galleries. Very, very important stuff. So the first thing you need to have in any image gallery is images. Let's just get for ourselves a couple of images. We're going to go right here, create a frame. Let's change it to say 400. Where did it go? We have this right here, and we're going to change this to say 400 as well. Let's add a fill, and we're going to add an image in here. We're going to go to Lumi. We're going to search for an image. Let's just get this image. It doesn't matter which image it is. And now we're going to add a border radius. Let's just add a border radius. Bring this down to 25 because 25 is the continued number we've been using for border radiuses in every single container. So every single place at the top where we've been using border radiuses, 25 is the constant number. This looks super duper pretty, genuinely. We're going to copy and paste this once again, and we're going to change out the image once again. We're going to go to Lumi, search for another image. Let's just get any other image that we want. Let's just get this one. Let it load up, and now we're going to copy and paste this once again. We're going to make sure the amount of spacing between this and this is equal to the amount of spacing between this and this. We're going to change out the image uploaded from our computer. We're going to get it from Lumi. We're going to open up Lumi right here, and we're going to search for any other third image. Doesn't matter what the image is as long as it looks pretty enough to be featured. And now we have all of these different images for our image slider. The next thing we need to do is make sure there is a little bit of back and forth in the slider. So we're going to create this button, and they're going to be the buttons with which we navigate our slider. Let's just go back into the center, zoom in, create a simple circle, place it right here. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, by the way. I go here live every single day, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, as part of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge. Let's just place this right here, and we're going to place it perfectly in the center. And I'm going to make sure the fill is set to white. The stroke is going to be 1 pixels, and it's going to use the very, very light shade of gray that we've been using. And now we're going to make sure we have an icon here as well. Let's just go right here to Iconify and search for previous icon, because that is the icon that we're using. Not previosa like me, previous. Let's just go with previous, and I feel like we're going to get a couple of options, and you can use any option that you think is pretty. This looks good. We're going to import this as a frame, place it perfectly in the center of our image. We're going to get this right here, and we're going to make sure it is perfectly aligned with our circle. So press this circle, press the icon, and then group them together. You're going to go right here, change this to be gray, and now we have this icon ready with us. This is a very, very reusable icon which we can use on the other side as well. The only issue that arises now is this icon is facing in this direction, and now we want the other icon to face in this direction. How do we make that happen? Very, very simple. You're going to copy it and paste the icon once again. Get this right here. Make sure it's perfectly aligned in the center. Once you're sure it's aligned in the center, you're going to go right here, right click, and you're going to flip it horizontally. Flip horizontal is the option which you can access through right click, and it just flips things perfectly as their mirror images. And this is how we're going to reuse this icon again and again. And now you have the gallery title and description, the images of the gallery, the icons to navigate back and forth with, but you also need to have these icons which point out how many images there actually are. So we need to create this navigation as well. Let's just go right here and create a couple of circles, and we're going to zoom in very, very simply. Make sure the width and height is locked this time. We're going to change this to say 10, and then we're going to copy and paste it a bunch of times. So we need to have 4 different circles, and we've copied and pasted it Control C, Control V 4 different times. Let's just select all of these circles at once, and we're going to add a very, very simple auto layout. The reason we're adding an auto layout here is because we want to be able to see how many images we have. Let's just make sure the spacing is set to 27 because obviously that is a very good number in terms of aligning things. Let's just zoom in. The color of all of these circles is going to be a very, very light shade of gray, and then the color of the selected circle is going to be black. So this is our image selection slider as well. You can make sure the spacing in this auto layout is lesser or greater, and ultimately it's going to lead you to a really, really pretty gallery which looks sort of like this. Again, very, very reusable as a component. Make sure to save this, screenshot this, and you can reuse this in almost any use case, any website you want. Change out your text, change out your images, and tada, you have the greatest gallery ever. Now that we've done this, we're going to design one of the most modern footers you've ever seen. These are the modern footers that are going to take off in 2025, which is why it's really, really important to have them as an integral part of the build. Now we're going to make sure the amount of spacing in our gallery is just right to accommodate our frame. 6560 is fine, and we're going to create a simple frame. Very, very simple stuff. Let's just bring this right here. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the live chat. I'll take questions from here in just a moment. And now we're going to type out luxury travel agency, or the name of the travel agency, which you can find, by the way, right here. So we're just going to go towards the top. Very, 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 very simple stuff. Just go to the top, select out your title and logo, copy it, bring it down. Bring it down. If you're new here, subscribe, bring it down. Go back to our frame, paste it and place it right here in the center. And obviously we're going to go down here as well, and we're going to type out all of these different links. Again, I want to point out here as well, this is a group of links which is using the font family Veera Sans. This is also a group of links, slightly smaller, but it is still a group of links using the same font family. So we're going to go up. Reusing elements is very, very important in terms of this UI. It saves so much effort. Seriously, it's saving so much time and energy. We're going to select this frame, copy it, and just go back down. Don't need to paste it right now. Control C is for copying in Figma, and Control V is for paste. Very, very basic stuff. We're going to paste it right here. We're going to zoom in, select any one of these options, copy and paste it once again, and now you have four different options available from our auto layout. We're going to make sure to press Shift, select all of these together, and we're going to change the font size to say 16. We're going to go over here to the frame, make sure the spacing is entirely equal, bring it right here in the center. Font size is going to be 32 pixels, and this icon is also going to be much, much larger because now we're working with a very, very wide frame. Let's just select this group, make sure there's a little bit of spacing, align it perfectly in the center, bring it right here, align this guy perfectly in the center as well. Press Shift, select all of these at once, make them larger if you need to, doesn't really matter. And we're going to press this entirely in the center. Let's just bring this down, and now we're going to change out all of these different links. Let's just say about us, services, luxury travels, and get in touch. Let's just type this out really, really simply. About us, our services, luxury travels, and get in touch. So we're going to type out all of these different footer links. And get in touch. And with that, we have all of these different links ready. So these are going to be the 4 links we're going to use in our footer. Very, very simple stuff. And once you are ready with all of these links, it is at this point we're going to start working on our footer end. So this is where we're going to add the bottom line. So we're going to type out clear out a very, very simple line. Just draw a very, very simple line over here. And with that, we are so ready with the spacing that we're using. And now we're going to type out the copyright notice and all of the different links that we need to have at the very end. So let's just type out the copyright notice. Let's just go right here and type out Windows, and full stop is how you can find all of these different emojis if you're on a Windows machine. If you're on a Mac machine, I'm pretty sure you can get it in some way there as well. 2025, and this is going to be the copyright notice. Exquisite journeys, all rights reserved. Exquisite journeys, and we're going to zoom out and type out all rights reserved. And now we're going to select this text box. Make sure to go right here, change it to say title case, and we're going to change the font to obviously say Veera Sans once again. Let's reduce the font size, bring it down to 16 because it needs to be much smaller than what we're doing over here. We're going to go up to the top once again, copy this link, and then go down here to the bottom, paste it back here again. And this is going to be the bunch of links that we're using at the bottom. So again, we're going to make sure the style is exactly the same. Font size is going to be 16, font weight is going to be regular, and we're going to change out the actual contents here as well. So privacy policy, terms of service, and cookie preferences is the ones that we're using. Let's just type out privacy, cookies, and terms. And with that, we have all of the different links ready with us. You can expand them if you want to, but at the end of the day, this is what it's going to look like ultimately. Again, this has been one of the prettiest UIs we've ever made. Let's just check them out, check out what this UI actually looks. So let's just get rid of the prototypes, which we've already got from before. We're going to go to our prototype settings, make sure the device is set to MacBook Air 1. This is why it's important to get the exact same MacBook preset from beginning. And now we're going to present this UI. Again, this is going to be one of the prettiest UIs we've ever done. I'm also going to share this in the live chat so that you can access it wherever you are. Just go to the live replay and you can find this live chat out. And with that, check it out, you guys. We've made this complete UI designed from scratch, a very awesome, very luxurious landing page UI covering every single important element you need to, including the navigation bar, the hero section, the different containers for different sections. This seriously is like the prettiest new section ever. We also have our testimonial section, which is the most reusable section ever. We also have the join us section, which you can use in practically every single UI you use. This newsletter section is super duper sleek, super duper simple, super duper nice to see. And of course, this contact section is again the 50-50 divided approach, which was also covered. It taught us so much. This gallery is again simply the prettiest, single most complete gallery we've ever made on this channel. And the fonts that we've used for this complete UI are Gluck and Veera Sans. Again, the most powerful font combo when it comes to luxurious UI designs ever. And this footer is seriously the modern footer to go with in 2025. If you liked what we're doing here, make sure to subscribe, make sure to click on the like button. I will be back here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time or 2:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time to guide you through another awesome UI design. If you watched here, thank you so much. Like and subscribe, and I will see you